I don't have a festive New Year's hat, or else I'd be wearing it for the series, and it's so sad. So we're going to start the year in review, looking back at 2018, and the first video we have to make is the obligatory, what the fuck was the worst shit that happened this year, ladies and gentlemen? And the worst things that happened for the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! That progressively was fixed is going to be the topic of this video. That's a mouthful, but let's dig on in. Ironically, this is going to be the top 5 best band decisions of 2018. Let's dig on into this, shall we? Oh, fucking right. I'm just going to start off this video by just saying, banning Maxie this year, great choice. So, starting off 2018, we actually got the chance to ban Maxie. Maxie was at 1 for a little while, and everybody and their mother just kind of cried tears, and I still hear the mass crowds. They're like, oh, Maxie needs to be back at 2. No, Maxie doesn't need to exist in this game at all. We've actually have seen now, having removed Maxie from the equation in the TCG, we actually have a much healthier metagame. Now, without saying that, like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Comes in cycles. You have these very dangerous random-ass FTKs and things like that. And yes, Maxie would be good in those formats, but it's only in those times that Maxie is really gets his chance to shine. But once we get these things cleaned up, then Maxie just kind of goes back to being a degenerate pile of garbage. And like I said, having removed Maxie from the game at this point, we actually got the chance to see over the last, well, real year that we have more diverse decks than we've ever actually had in the current game. And that might be contributing to, you know, decent ban list choices and things like that. I mean, you're always going to have your naysayers out there that just don't like the way that the TCG is constructed in their ban list, or, you know, the people that feel the OCG is infinitely better. And I get that. I'm sometimes that way too on Fridays and Sundays, but, you know, it just depends. But seeing Maxie be removed from the equation definitely made things a lot more interesting in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And it's left a lot of room for development in the game. So, just my 2 cents coming in at number 5 is just Maxie, simply because, like, he promotes degeneracy. Continuing along with the list, at number 4, our boy, Masterpiece. Now, earlier in the year, everybody and their mother had just been so sick of True Draco that it was so draining. Masterpiece, well, wasn't a very fun card for the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! There's a reason why he's so low on the list, but, like, he wasn't necessarily banned that kind of made things better for you. Yes, True Draco did have its time afterwards with the return of Dynamite, that you could almost say that banning Masterpiece was a good thing for True Draco. Just getting the ability to get Masterpiece back make things a little bit more consistent. But when you have a monster that exists in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! That has certain immunities based on what you tribute summon him for, players aren't going to have a good time. You know, he promoted bad interactions in the format. He promoted bad plays, getting the ability to play Yu-Gi-Oh! On your opponent's turn, for example. These are all things that players were just sickened by. It wasn't a good time overall for people to want to deal with. So something needed to be done about Masterpiece, and I'm all for what they did. I think it was a very good call. Like, I do want Masterpiece back, but, like, he does hinder the advancement of the game state of Yu-Gi-Oh! He does, unfortunately, you know, not allow people to really get the chance to play the game. And then, like, if he's on Spell Trap immunity, or, for example, he's on Monster Spell immunity and you don't play traps, like, how you gonna out him? Like, yay, Yu-Gi-Oh! Card design. But you guys get what I'm saying. Like, Masterpiece was such a troublesome card. Just being able to stand alone on his... He was literally a standalone boss monster. You could make as many bad plays as you wanted with him, and you were just rewarded for it. Like, is that the Yu-Gi-Oh! That we kind of come and know and love? Yeah, it actually very much is. Now, number 3 on this list, number 3, is Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. Now, the reason why that this one makes the list for number 3, Pendulum FTK was a very interesting hype beast for a format. All of the people that had picked up the deck or kind of had figured out how to play the deck were basically, you know, pulling in free wins at this point. They were like, oh, give me. And, notably, like, the deck started off relatively quietly and then exploded throughout the community. So at this point, like, everybody and their mother had found out that starving, Venom Fusion Dragon, like, the big fusion monster that would copy and kill things, like, the matchup wasn't a good one that you want to play against, much like, the FTK of Cannon Soldier and, our boy Firewall Dragon. It was absolute bullshit to have to deal with. Now, you already top that into the already consistent Pendulum engine that they had at the time. Nobody wants to play it. And when you start seeing these FTKs come up, you kind of start to see a theme in the format. Players are quitting because they don't want to see this degeneracy. So this was something that needed to be done. I'm going to be honest with you guys. It was an absolute bullshit shit show the way that it was. And I'm so glad that they made the proper call to get rid of him. I don't like FTKs as much as the next person. And it's stupid that, like, we even had this running around for as long as we did, and kind of just, I don't know if people just didn't notice it for the longest time when it came out of the woodwork, or people, like, questioned the validity of it. But once it took off, like, it took off. It's so, ugh. But yeah, I gotta give it to our boy, like, Starving Fusion Dragon. Like, good job. You really made me not like Yu-Gi-Oh for a little while. Number 2 on this list goes to Nightmare Goblin. And I hated Goblin. So the thing that made Goblin so annoying was obviously, like, he had the good arrows for the extra link for Goki. Like, who didn't love left and right? Plus you got the additional normal summon, and you got to draw a card for discard 1. Like, hello? Who actually wanted to deal with that? And then, in addition, like, the thing that made him so annoying wasn't the core normal summon. I mean, the extra normal summon was really cute and fantastic. I'll give it to you guys. Like, good job. But it was the really fucking annoying part that I couldn't target anything that was co-linked. Not only could my opponent establish a masterful co-link in Goki, but it was so dumb, because at the end of it all, they would just set up the Goblin in the dead-ass center and be like, cool, can't be destroyed by battle, can't target me. Like, what the hell are you supposed to do when playing against the deck? I ask you, like, what are you supposed to do? In addition, Goblin fed into the combo of getting the additional normal summon. Like, this card was probably... If number 1 hadn't been as bad as it was this year, I might have considered putting Goblin as the worst card. And that's saying a lot, because inherently, like, combo extender and protection, like, for generic Link 2, like, and you got to discard draw a card if you were co-linked, like, what were you thinking in terms of card design when you initially made this beast? That's all I'm asking. Like, Goblin, and plus he was generic. Why? Why did you do this? I'm still scratching my head going into 2019, wondering why we had to deal with Nightmare Goblin this year. But, hey, whatever. And then the last one goes to my boy Firewall Dragon. You were the true MVP. You thought Goki, rinse, washing, and repeating things was absolutely great. Well, it wasn't until the second round of support for our great friends in the Danger archetype. Thank you for allowing me to effectively be able to mill through my entire deck and just grant me sweet, sweet Firewall Dragon. So the thing that made Firewall Dragon, you were just the biggest asshole we've ever seen in the Yu-Gi-Oh community for card design. Like, you have an FTK, oh, well, he contributed to an FTK. I should probably get my facts straight. Like, Agrafa plus Cannon Soldier was really cute. Plus, I mean, it was only until this point that we realized that once per turn card design in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh is flawed. Because, well, cards that don't say once per turn are bad. So, like, you should have stamped once per turn on. I get Firewall's design at the time was at the beginning of the Link era. He was a card that, well, contrary to popular belief, was meant to, accelerate decks. And that was relatively cute, but on the downside of things, his age definitely started to show. And because of that age starting to show, we got to find out more of his degenerateness. And, I mean, it's a very easy fix of errating him to once per turn and letting him get the chance to come back. But he's still cooking in the anime. He's still doing his thing over there. But Firewall Dragon, having caused infinite loops this year, was definitely... Getting him out of the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Was the best decision that they did for 2018. And I'm definitely glad that we no longer have to deal with this massive degeneracy. So as we walk out of 2018, I thank you, Konami. Thank you very much for taking care of all of these problems and making 2019 look like a slightly better year. Hopefully. Alright guys, what do you think about my top 5 worst cards of the year that need to be banned? Please leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think. And well guys, Papa Robbie's out. Peace. The ride never, well, truly ends. Thank you, patrons. Without you guys, I don't know what I'd be wearing in these videos. I might be a truffle shuffle incident all over again. Guys, please also check out Vanquil40 for some awesome Vanguard content. Some other interesting stuff you might find up here on the left or in the description as well. Thanks for watching.